Happy Tuesday, guys. Welcome back to the channel. We had an incredible day on Tesla today, almost breaking 1100 before rejecting. We're going to go over the levels, and also I want to look at a longer time frame chart today, the 5-minute chart, and see how that correlated and also gave for some perfect setups as far as patterns go. We're going to see how that ran right along with the 1 minute and could have possibly given us some confirmation based on multiple time frames. If you guys do enjoy this video, please feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. As always, go ahead and bash that thumbs up button and check out some other videos if you have time. Thanks a lot. Let's go have a look at the charts. Here we are, traders, on TSLA, otherwise known as Tesla, otherwise known as Moon, otherwise known as Let's Go. We had an incredible push up this morning. This gave for a beautiful setup. We had patterns all over the place with volatility. One of the biggest thing with patterns is one reason we don't trade them in the pre-market is because there's normally not a lot of volatility and volume to actually create the patterns that we want and to fulfill the strategy that we're trying to see set up. That's one of the reasons it's been so hard for me to actually set up a pre-market strategy. Now I've been working on it. I worked on it as well this morning. Once Tesla came out of the bell, it had insane volatility and an insane volume amount. The amount traded per minute was really crazy on Tesla this morning, and I think the bulls were just ready to jump on Tesla and ride this bad boy to the moon, which it did go to the moon. One of the big things that I'm going to try to point out today is the correlation between some of the 1 minute patterns and where they fit in on the 5-minute chart. Personally, I've been trying to look at the 5-minute chart a little bit more recently to try to see the setups and then look at the 1 minute chart for my entries as far as like around an EMA or the VWAP or something like that. But I want to see a confirmation pattern on the 5-minute chart. I did see a few of those today, and we're going to go over and see where those showed up right now. So the first thing you're going to see is Tesla right out of the 1 minute. Here we are at the bell. Tesla had a really big rip up, and we went from 1,025 all the way to 1,050. We had a $50 move in the first 3 minutes. That was intense. The big things that we're going to also keep an eye on while we go over these charts really quick is the dollar levels and what Tesla did at those dollar levels. Now, we always talk about on this channel what happens around certain dollar levels, especially like 150. Anything that's going to stand out, and normally when we're trading in a lower dollar stock, we're going to look at whole dollars when things move in 10-cent increments. When you're dealing with Tesla, this bad boy is going to move in dollar increments. And here we have the first run up. Now, again, this doesn't have to touch the 150 immediately, exactly. It can get close to it, but what you'll see is a little bit of hesitation. The bulls are like, okay, is anybody going to go short, or they're going to get frantic and start selling off? Maybe I should take my profits. And the bears are like, okay, I'm not sure if these bulls have enough momentum to continue to rip this thing up, because as you see, look at the amount of volume Tesla had in the first 3 minutes. That was insane. And sure enough, we had the sell-off. Now, this would have normally been a great reversal play right at the 935. And what do we have here? We have right at the 5-minute second candle, we have a correlation breaking below this level and then a dip all the way back down to the 121 level, which was in this candle right here. It all happened in the first 1 minute candle. But if you were watching the 5-minute, you could see where this would be a dip and then it came back up. Okay, cool. You could have traded this on the 1 minute. Honestly, I wasn't trading Tesla early this morning. I did trade the crap out of it after it came down from its top. So really here, even on the 5-minute charts, we had breakout candles all the way up the 5-minute chart. If you really couldn't find an entry, we had flags here all the way up. Now, this wasn't really a good flag, but it did have a really good bottom here that formed this level. And as you can see, this thing just respected the 9 EMA all the way up. This was an easy indicator for Tesla trading this morning. On the 1 minute was the 9 EMA. And until we got to the very top up here, that's what it respected. It never broke below the 9 EMA all the way up until around 10 o'clock. Now this formed bottoms all the way up. You could have used these as entries right here, when it got close to the 9 EMA. I don't know if I would have felt bullish or bearish on these again. I wasn't watching the price action, so I'm not sure. But, you know, me being short biased, I probably would have been hesitant, especially with this massive drawdown here. This really didn't set up a pattern. All we really had was a floor. But the fact that it didn't close below this floor or at the 9, I probably would have felt going long once we got up here. Now, again, what I wanted to really focus on in this video is the 5-minute chart and how it correlated with the 1-minute video. So I'm not going to go over every single move on Tesla today. We did see it start going sideways. We still had, you know, we would see a sell-off and then a rip on volume, a sell-off, another push. This was our really big sell-off when all the bulls saw that they didn't have enough momentum to get this thing over 1100. We got really close, right around 197, and then it sold off. And this is where we had a really big dip, and this is where I started trading. I traded a little bit after lunch, and also traded some in the Power, which was really fun. I don't really do that that often. One of the beautiful things that we're going to look at here on the 5-minute, and this was actually a really good setup, was a double bottom here and a failure to hold underneath that bottom, which gave a perfect long opportunity. This was a perfect setup and it was right around 130. So now we're going to go over to the 1-minute chart and see what that looked like on the 1-minute chart. So right around 130. Here we have very light volume on the red and then a rip up. Now the big thing, what sticks out like a sore thumb, is the perfect double tap right here, right around, again, we're going to say 1,000. It wasn't 1,000, but it got close. That was another big number, just like the 1,100 was the big number on the top, the 1,000 was the big number on the bottom. And this was actually the perfect long opportunity. Because, you know, the bulls are going to come in. They'll be like, okay, it's time to start buying this stock up at 1,100. I actually played this short. The way, not right here, but I played this move short right down through here. Once it lost the close of previous day, which is right around this level represented by the dotted line, I actually started going short twice on this stock and on this move. I went in here for the low of day, and then I went in again here for a low of day. I actually made decent money on Tesla today. But my chart was covered up in arrows. That's why I have them all hidden right now, because you would see arrows all over this chart. I mean, I was all over Tesla today. Now again, this was kind of my lunch hour. I didn't trade a lot this morning because I had other crap going on. I looked at it, but I was basically just like, if I had a few minutes, I would look, but I wasn't like just staring at a screen. I was at my 9 to 5 today. So you always have to take that into consideration. Now, one of the other beautiful setups that happened on the 1-minute was when we created this low right here. We had the bounce. It almost made to this level right here, which was, again, the close of the previous day. It could not make it, and then it rejected back down. But what did we have? We had a failure to go all the way back down to the $1,000 mark, and it actually found its bottom at a lot higher price, about $4 or $5 higher. Then we had the push back up through here, all the way back up to the 128 level. I actually had that drawn for a later trade. That correlates perfectly with what would have been a double tap bottom here. Now, what do I mean by that? Obviously touches, but the other thing, which is a little bit more obvious, we're going to go ahead and grab our horizontal line here. And we could have had that bad boy drawn right at the bottom of that candle. That would have given us our level right there. From this 5-minute candle at 12, right around the 12, 40, see 45 there. Yeah, it was around the 45, 46, 47, right around in that area, which have correlated with these two candles right here on the 1-minute chart. even though it was really hard to get that level from the 1, so if I would have drawn my lines on the 1, where would I have drawn my lines? I would have drawn it down here, around 1001. That would have been pointless. Looking at the 5-minute chart, even if you didn't even have to draw your line. You could at least had it to look at. But what you're going to see is multiple touches there as well, which may not stick out as much when you're looking at the 1, just because you're going to notice these massive candles a little bit more. We have the pullback, and then we have almost a perfect touch off of 1,642, and then we have the push back up. It formed just beautiful, and again, this would have been one of my other ones that I would have loved to have seen actually go bearish, but it didn't. Was the move from this 5-minute setup right here. We had the A, we had the B, we had the C, which pulled back right to this level, which you could have played an upside down ABCD pattern off of the close of previous day, and then the move for D. Now, it did not actually go through D, so this would have been a false ABCD breakout. The same way when you see it doesn't go D to the long side, you have a very long A, a B, you buy off the C, and then it tries to move higher, but let's say there's a higher price up here, like a whole dollar, maybe a $50 mark, and the D is trying to push through that and just never can. It's like, I don't know what to do here. I don't have any energy, so I'm just going to reject. And it rejects down. This is the complete opposite of that. It tried to go down, and the bears tried to jump on top of this. It just didn't have enough bearish energy. And as you can see, as it moved back down, all the volume got out of it. And it was like, the reverse volume. Reverse volume works in the same way, but it's upside down. It fails to go past the D marker, and then we have the next rejection. Beautiful moves on Tesla today, guys. I'm going to keep this video short and sweet. We're going to scroll out and just see where this bad boy finished up, and we're going to go ahead and close this video. Actually, it's maybe hard for you guys to see with my face there, but yeah, we closed up, and now we're actually going sideways after market, so that's good. We did have a lot of action going into the end of the day, and we actually had a really big sell-off. And again, this would have been, I don't really look at whack patterns like this because I don't really know how to read this crap. If I was in the moment and I was looking at price action, I may have been able to trade this, but you know, we're already so far away from the 9. Now, this may have been a good entry right here for a bull flag. This actually did make, you know, if you would have missed this rip over the close of day, you could have played this as a 3-bar play, or you could have played this as a bear flag, or I'm sorry, a bull flag, taken a long off of the 9 EMA and just had your stop like, okay, if this candle comes down to the 9, I'm just going to stop out. And then you did make a nice play here. So, lots of opportunities. Few takeaways from this video if you guys stayed around to the end. 1, try to use multiple time frames to correlate your entries. Don't be afraid to look at patterns and strategies and setups on the 5-minute or even on the 15-minute just to see where the volume is going and see how it's trending. Second, if you're going to really want to trade stuff like flags, ABCDs, break of VWAPs, you need volume, you need volatility, because that means people are just willing to go long, go short, go wherever, and just make it work. And you could see patterns all over Tesla today. Easy to trade, beautiful Tesla. I love you. Keep doing this. Tomorrow, I want you to go to 2,000. I'm off work tomorrow, so I'm trying to go drive a Lambo. Feel me on that. Thanks, you guys. As always, just remember, trade safe and always stay green.